Ladies and gentlemen, you have downloaded episode 106 of We Got This with Mark and Hal. And right now, as you're listening to this, Mark and I are at sea. We don't have any internet. So now we're giving you the episode with the most internet ever. We recorded this while shooting it on Facebook Live as a video. That video is available in our Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/We Got This podcast. You can see why Mark was so distracted. But for now, please enjoy episode 106 of We Got This with Mark and Hal.
Hello, I'm Hal Lublin.
And I'm Mark Gagliardi.
Since the dawn of humanity, one issue has gone unsettled. With the fate of the world in the balance, we're here to settle, once and for all, best superpower.
That's right. Don't worry, everyone. We got this.
Podcast should have a theme song. Podcast should not have a theme song. Yes, they should. No, they shouldn't. They sound good. Yeah, but people are just going to skip past it. You know what? You're right. We got this.
Hello, Mark.
What's up, Hal?
I'm feeling super.
I'm feeling super. This is really fun. This is our first time we've ever recorded an episode with a live window open to Facebook Live.
Yes.
So we can say hello to the folks. Hello to everyone who is tuning in on Facebook Live right now, and hello to everyone who is tuning in across the world or other planets. Over the internet. I don't know how far the internet gets.
We don't know where you are.
No, we don't.
We could be like on a Voyager-like mission where this episode is being beamed into space without our knowledge on a golden record.
Ooh, I love the golden record.
It's just shot out towards the stars. And then when an alien civilization finds them, they'll listen and go, oh, these guys aren't ready.
Yeah, these guys are bozos.
Let's use the gun that takes all the water away. But we're here to talk about superpowers.
Oh, that's right. That's the one we're doing.
Kelly Jewell, who asked this in the Facebook group, on which we are currently streaming live. But of course, this episode's coming out later, which is going to be really interesting for the people listening to it. Kelly asked, what is the best superpower? And when that was asked, it wasn't like the best superpower somebody else has. It's if you had a superpower,
right? What
would it be?
Isn't this is the question though that often gets asked, with like psychologists, because there's really, the list is basically two huge ones.
Okay.
Unless you can think of like, I wish I could add frosting to cupcakes by just pointing at them.
Well, now you're talking. Could you add the frosting to anything?
Yeah, you can add frosting to anything you want.
Well, then why are we taking this off the table so quickly?
I'm not trying to take it off the table. I'm just saying that what everyone usually goes to is, would you rather be able to fly or would you rather be invisible? Like, those are the two big guns.
Sure.
Somebody, Morton wrote ice powers.
Okay. So that's like Iceman. That's being able to create or manipulate ice. So that's not a bad power. But I think here.
Kelly is here.
Kelly is here.
Who had the topic. Hi, Kelly.
So I think really what we're talking about is a singular superpower. So it can't be I'm like Superman because he's got a laundry list of powers.
Right.
But I think there are other ones that are good in there too. Not just from what a psychologist or psychiatrist would say, where it's being invisible so you can sneak around, which is really probably
I'm an introvert. I don't want people to know. Or I want to be, hello world, I'm flying.
But also if you're invisible, you might be paranoid and want to know what people really think of you. Have you ever thought about like, if you could see your funeral but not be dead, what that would be like? Do you ever think about that?
To see my funeral?
Yeah, I wonder if people who would say something or do, like, what would it be?
Well, actually, I did that play in high school. It was called Balcony Scene. Thought it was going to be about Romeo and Juliet. Was not. It was about a dude who died and is sitting up in the balcony watching his own funeral with a man in a white suit who is, I don't know, probably St. Peter or one of those.
What high school did you go to?
Oh, I went to Farragut High School in Knoxville, Tennessee. Current state champions in football. I guarantee you that football team has never seen them do balcony scene in the drama department.
Also state champion in plays about death that all the kids are forced to do.
We're getting some really good ones coming in across Facebook.
Yeah, let's jump into some of the different types of powers that we're seeing here. One is teleportation.
Teleportation is great.
You're so focused on this. This is the first time Mark has been on Facebook.
This is the first time I've been on Facebook in like 3 years, you guys.
3 years.
I'm so amazed that there's like a list of people talking to us right now.
There are 27 people watching. The world has its eyes on you, and you're freezing here. But teleportation is interesting. The idea that you could be anywhere in an instant certainly is very convenient. But also,
teleportation is, you never have to buy another plane ticket.
right?
You never have to fill a car with gas. You never have to say, I'm not going to be there. I'm going to be late. Or like I'm frequently late everywhere.
Yes.
So to be able to be like, I can just chill at home. And then I don't know how this teleportation power would work. If it would be like a finger snap, I can just be like, what time do I have to be at work? 7. All right. What time is it now? 6:59. Great. I have 60 seconds to do something at home before I do that. And
then you're there on time.
Yeah.
Drawback, let's say you want to visit like a river or something, and you think about the wrong thing, then you wind up in the river, you drown to death.
Yeah,
Could
that's
happen.
true.
You don't know how, at some point you refine these powers, but also you might not refine them right away. So you might find yourself.
Ashley Gillard is also pointing out that, if we are going from like teleportation chamber to chamber.
Right. But that's not a power. That's science.
That's science.
That
would be the fly problem. We would each turn into Jeff Goldblum. If Jeff Goldblum accidentally got into our teleportation machine, and we just didn't happen to see him because he flew in there while we were getting in.
Are you assuming he's small? I thought he was like 8 feet tall. Wasn't he in a movie called The Tall Guy?
Yes, he was. He is a
so
large man.
Distracted by the computer.
I know. I'm sorry. I should really be. I'm trying to listen to because people are
Mark,
making good
it's
points.
showtime, man. It's
I know.
showtime.
I'm sorry. I keep looking at the little screen. All right. So the big guns that we've got right now on the table, flight, invisibility, teleportation, putting frosting on anything.
When you were a kid, did you ever think that you secretly had a superpower? Like, I'll give you an example. When I was like 10 or 11, we had a class trip that was somewhere out. There was like a creek walk. So we're in the woods, and I lifted a big like piece of wood that to me seemed like this would be really heavy and difficult for anybody to lift. The fact that I was able to lift it, I was like, maybe I have super strength, and nobody has told me.
Yeah.
So,
and then come to find out it was balsa.
Yeah, probably. It was probably paper. I was like, I had a power all along. Am I even of this earth? Am I from Krypton? As Marlon Brando said.
Krypton?
Yeah, that's what he said.
Krypton
This
in the
last
movie?
son of Krypton. Yeah. Am I
Can I tell you my favorite quote from Marlon Brando?
Please.
I'm from Krypton's a pretty good one. This is one I heard like third or fourth hand, from when he used to go to Astro Burger in Hollywood all the time. And Marlon Brando returned his onion rings and told the guy behind the counter, I like them doughier.
So gross.
So that's my favorite Marlon Brando quote.
Later, Marlon. It's not anything about acting or life
No.
or spirituality.
No. I like them doughier. But if listeners and those on Facebook watching, if you ever get a chance, to have just a free night, go down the internet rabbit hole that is, Marlon Brando interviews. Because you start in the 50s or in like the early 60s and go all the way up through his Larry King interview where he kissed him on the lips. You begin the night thinking, Marlon Brando's a crazy person. And you end the night thinking, Marlon Brando is right, man. Everyone else is crazy.
Well, so Marlon Brando maybe was misunderstood.
Mm-hmm.
So that brings me to something else that a few people are pointing out on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
There are some powers you could have that would actually have some practical use. One would be the ability to understand and speak in any language. So instantaneously, if somebody's speaking to you, you understand and can speak back to them. It's sort of like in a sci-fi film where they put a translator collar around everybody and all of a sudden everybody's speaking English. Is that something that you think, like, do you want a practical power or do you want something fantastic?
For me, honestly, I feel like a practical power would be more up my alley.
Really?
Yeah, because with great power, but with medium power and with just practical power comes practical responsibility.
So you don't want a fantastic power because you'd be responsible to help people?
Yeah. Not my job. If I can't figure out how to monetize it.
So it's just any power that would not be useful in a bank robbery or the thwarting of a bank robbery. That's what you're interested in.
Yeah. I like the ability to speak any language. Like I always thought it would be a great superpower. Not really a superpower, but a skill to be able to kick a football through the uprights from anywhere on a football field and have it always go through.
Yeah, that's a great job skill.
Yeah, that's a job skill that could have me until I'm like 100 years old.
How about typing 200 words per minute mistake free? Is that a good superpower?
Ooh. I don't really want to be a typist.
Or transcriber. Still called? Yeah, typist.
Typist.
Would you be in the typist pool? Here's something that a few other people are thinking about. It's weather control. Some people talk about being believing they were airbenders because as a child, you might try to move the wind or create rain, and if it's timed right, it just sort of happens. Is that of any interest to you?
The ability to control the weather? Not really, because I've lived in Southern California for a very long time. I live in New York now, and it would be a lot nicer in New York to be able to control the weather. But in Southern California, it's like, it's sunny and 73. I'm like, all right, well, what do I want to do?
Well, this morning it was raining. If you could have stopped that rain, would you have? Or would you have made it rain
California
more?
Needs it.
We're in a drought.
Look,
we got to fill those reservoirs.
I feel like Mother Earth knows what Mother Earth needs.
Gaia knows.
I don't want to be the guy that's trying to go and change around what the weather is. Because that feels like one of those things like going back in time and, and like moving one pebble and then going back to modern day and that pebble's not in the same spot it was in.
All right. But would you not changing the weather also create something terrible? What if changing the weather makes something great happen? You just don't know. You could play that game.
Well, look, you were playing the Back to the Future 2 game right now.
So what about time travel? What about that as a power? If you could travel personally through time and anybody, so if I could do it and I touch your shoulder, we go together. Like Hero did. Like your friend Masioka.
That's right.
Did on the show
Shout
Heroes.
out to Masioka from Second City.
So would you want a power like that?
I would love the power of time travel. As a history nerd, I would love to see what actually happened. Like I would love to know, to be there, to quote Lin-Manuel Miranda, in the room where it happened.
Sure. You just hang out with Teddy Roosevelt.
Oh man, Teddy and I would. TR. He doesn't like Teddy.
TR. Can we ride horses? TR. Yeah.
You want to go out west, man? Let's go west.
I got glasses like your glasses.
Yeah. I got some pince nez. Let's go start a ranch.
We're twins. TR. Quick. How do you like this vest? Is this a good vest?
This is a good comment. Why don't you ask chlorofluorocarbons what it's like to change the weather?
Oh,
yeah. Oh, take that, chemicals with superpowers.
Hey, you know what? My sister-in-law just said mood bender. If you could shift people's moods, is that a power you'd want?
Hal, I like to think that you and I have that power.
Oh, God.
That you and I, if someone's in a bad mood, we can talk a lot of dumb baloney and bring them back.
You hope so. But in absence of that, would you like to be able to magically do it?
I don't know. That feels manipulative.
It is, but that's also like the power to make somebody fall in love with you, or like a love potion.
I feel like if I'm going to do something manipulative, I would like my manipulative power to be objective and not subjective.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like the falling in love, the mood changing. That feels like that's messing with someone else's soul.
Sure.
Whereas telekinesis is messing with science and physics.
Would you put mind reading in that? Telepathy? Like a Professor X, where you could read minds, but he also
that to me is the absolute most terrifying responsibility.
I agree with you.
The world. If I do not want to know what other people are thinking.
I think you're better off not knowing most of the time, because hopefully whoever you're talking with is going to honestly communicate with you. But you don't want to play that game of knowing. It's almost like having the power, like the Dead Zone, where you know when somebody's going to die. Right?
Yeah, these are horrifying.
It's terrible.
These are horrifying.
So you don't want terrible responsibilities. You don't want to shift fundamentally who somebody is with your power.
What about animal shape shifting? You said shift.
Oh, like Manable, the police officer that could turn into animals? Wasn't that the theme of that show?
Yeah, played by Simon McCorkindale.
That sounds like such a made up name. It sounds like a name from a Christopher Guest movie. I'm Simon McCorkindale. I am a nail painter. And I've been in the town for 40 years. I
I'm thinking more because I've been working on a Moana thing, and I just watched Moana
So do you want to
extensively. That Maui fish hook that makes him turn into a bird or any other animal. Though when you turn into the animal, would you have their intellect and their brain capacity, or would you retain your own brain? You know what I mean?
I think the idea behind animal shape shifting in general is that you don't turn into a fly and then like die in 20 minutes. It's more that you're like, all right, I have all the abilities of
I'm
this
going to
dog.
shape shift into a bird. Uh-oh. Too bad I got this bird brain and I no longer know what shape shifting is.
Oh, look, another bird. I'm going to fly it in full speed. I think you maintain your intellect. It's more you get the advantages of being that animal, but with a human intellect. Does that make it more interesting to you?
If I have the animal's intellect? No, it makes it way less interesting.
Your intellect, but you're in the animal's body. So it's like you're all of a sudden have the acrobatic ability of like an ape, but you have your brain. So you can all of a sudden manipulate the body and do things that a normal ape might not think to do.
Hal,
Yes.
you could have chosen any animal with any ability.
I could have.
Fly like a falcon.
Uh-huh.
And you went with do acrobatics like an ape?
Come on. You don't want to swing around like an ape crazy through the jungle, swinging from tree to tree. And first of all, apes aren't that dumb because apes and monkeys, like they open a banana from the bottom, which is the way you're supposed to open it.
I disagree with that.
It opens so much easier.
No.
It does.
You've got the little stem part. You can bend the
that
stem
you
back.
break and move back and forth.
You're terrible
The
at
bottom,
opening bananas.
you squeeze it, peel it, done. It's open. That is the 100% the way to open a banana.
Let's get back to our Facebook Live since I'm fascinated by this.
Okay. Oh, does magic count as a superpower? That's what Amy's just asked us.
Ooh.
I mean, it's kind of wide ranging.
Mm-hmm. Magic's pretty wide open. Because that includes invisibility, flight, levitation,
Mind reading.
I think that we're going to limit superpowers to one magical skill.
Yes. Yeah. What about super hearing? Would you want that? Or does that fall into mind reading?
All of these things, like with the mind reading, super hearing, anything that feels invasive.
So X-ray vision's out for you.
X-ray vision's out for me. Like invasive things, anything that would I guess I don't want power. What I want, like anything that would give me power over other human beings, I feel like, that's kind of gross and weird. Like flying, teleportation. These to me are practical things. Being able to speak any language in the world. I love that one.
Okay. That's a good one. Because it makes you a better person, ostensibly.
This just popped up.
Go ahead.
Healing.
Okay. So healing yourself or healing others?
Both, I'll say.
Okay. It's certainly a nice thing, but is that one where the responsibility is too great? Does it exert pressure on you?
Honestly, that one, I may be a little too selfish for that one. I'm like, if I had the power to heal, doing it to myself, I wouldn't need it that often.
Yeah.
And doing it for other people, it would take every day would be that.
Yeah. Cause if you could fly, that's not something that's necessarily helpful to other people. Cause look, if I could fly, I could still lift the same amount of weight. It's not like I could carry a car somewhere for you. I probably won't even deliver a letter that fast. We don't even know how fast are you flying if you fly.
Airplane speed.
Airplane? Wouldn't that kill you? Or does your body all of a sudden?
No, your body's got this flight thing.
Okay, it's got this flight. Your body's got this flight thing. Well, you want to fly over there? No problem.
You're gonna put like chambers in your ears and stuff so you don't air pressure explode. Wear a coat. It's like 20 below out there.
The in-flight movie is everything you see. Yeah, because you're flying.
Yeah, you're flying. What do you want, a movie to watch?
Yeah. What's wrong with you? You got to run into a real plane. If you run into a plane and you're flying in this scenario, you do get chewed up by the engine, right?
Mm-hmm.
I like the idea of flying. I had a recurring dream as a kid, and you can tell me in a second what that means from a psychology perspective.
Okay. I'm a licensed psychologist.
I know you are.
Well, a licensed healer. Really, It's just a superpower that I have.
I used to have a dream because I lived in a house that was at the bottom of two hills. Mm-hmm. So I would walk to the top of one hill and then start running down. And when I picked up enough speed, I would just start flying. I would glide. That was how I flew. I wasn't just sort of jump up into the air Superman style.
So your life was going downhill.
My life was going downhill rapidly.
Okay, rapidly.
But I thought if I ran fast enough, I could escape to the sky.
You were living in a fantasy world as your life was going downhill rapidly.
Oh, so that's what it means?
That's what the dream meant.
Oh, that's terrible. Oh, I had a dream recently. Maybe you can interpret this one for me. I had a dream recently where a few people I knew had died, including our producer, Ken Plume.
Whoa! Who is online right now?
He's online watching right now. But if I called his phone number, he would answer and I could talk with him. So he would answer the phone from the great afterlife. Yeah, when those people were passed away, they didn't, there wasn't as much inflection in their voice. They were just sort of like, yeah, hey, how you doing? Like they were kind of tired.
Like heaven's boring?
Yeah. But at some point in the dream, I called a staff meeting between you, me, and Ken so we could go over the stuff that he does that you're going to have to take on because he's passed away. So
he's having a staff meeting.
It was important that we establish that the podcast continue. The show must go on, Mark.
Oh no, I've heard the Queen song.
Oh, I think I know what that dream means. I think it means I'm a terrible person.
I think so. Yeah. I think it means that if all your friends died, you're like, well, how's my show going to get produced?
Would you like to be invulnerable? So you can't can't get
no
sick.
One emotionally gets in.
You can't. Yeah, nobody can make you sad.
No, God, no.
But you can't and it's not that thing of if I break an ankle, I won't feel it. It's actually like I'm impervious to damage. Mm-hmm. You wouldn't want that.
I feel like this is going to sound like really dorky and actory.
Oh boy.
But I feel like to deprive myself of the negative aspects of life, like anything that deprives me of a part of living.
Okay.
I think will make I sound like such a turd right now.
I require life as an actor. It's how I draw from experience.
All right.
To craft a performance. Oh, by the way,
Kate McManus thinks you're stressed, Hal. Also, someone asked a few minutes ago, and I want to know if they asked if you could fly, would you carry me on your back or fireman style or honeymoon style?
Oh, I think fireman style. I wouldn't do the "Can you read my mind" from Superman the Motion Picture because I'm afraid I would drop you. I know my arm would get tired.
How does that work though? All he's doing is holding her hand, so suddenly she can fly.
I think he's worked up enough speed, and her dress isn't really blowing around. That nightie she was wearing, where he uses his X-ray vision to see what color her underwear is, but only because she asks.
Now I'm getting some real shade thrown at me in this.
William asked if entering dreams, Inception style, is that too invasive for you?
Absolutely.
Well, you were in that one dream where you're talking to Ken.
Yeah.
And, by the way, Ken said you knew we should have known it was a dream because you answered the phone when I called you.
Oh, you guys, I'm terrible at communicating. That would be my superpower that I would like to have. The gift of communication.
The gift of communication. I think you're a good communicator. It's just when you communicate.
Yeah.
So you want your power to be available more often?
Yeah. My power will be availability.
Availability. What about like fire? What about being like the Human Torch?
That sounds excruciatingly painful.
Only on the Venture Brothers.
It doesn't sound terribly useful.
Why not?
The ability to just burst into flames?
What if you're cold?
Hal, I'm sticking with teleportation, flight, invisibility I don't want. That feels invasive.
Okay.
For me right now, the big contenders are, I'm gonna switch around our language one.
Okay.
I want to be able to speak to any creature.
Okay. So you include talking to animals.
I am including that. It becomes maximum communication.
You know, my friend Michael McCarthy does a great impression of what a cat would say if you could talk with it. Would you like to hear that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Light, heat, instinct, food. What do you hope? Do you think that if you spoke to an animal that it would be as smart as a person?
No, but I think that if I could say to them, what do you want right now? What do you need right now? Or why are you running?
Right.
I I would like I'm just adding this onto our communication thing. So those would be my big three: teleportation, flight, and the ability to communicate with all creatures.
You know, I do like flight as a power.
Mm-hmm.
Teleportation seems, it seems convenient, but it also, it's just not exciting enough for me. I really like the idea of
Oh, you know what?
super strength.
Sorry, Ken is correcting me.
Okay.
It's not that I want to talk to any creature. It's that I want to be able to understand.
Okay,
any creature.
fair enough.
All right, Ken.
That's a good distinction. I like the idea of super strength.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why that is so appealing to me.
Super strength is great.
Yeah, but it seems cool.
Telekinesis, we haven't mentioned yet. The lazy man's superpower. Like life is your remote control.
But you also, like everybody who pretends to have the force,
Mm-hmm.
you have the force. You can actually do it.
Yeah.
You can
Everybody would want you to help him move.
Yeah. Here's what is a great power, and this is straight out of the comic books, is the ability to alter molecules or the molecular structure of things.
Mm-hmm.
So you can create new structures. Molecule Man from Marvel during the first Secret Wars transported the entire city of Denver, I believe, to the Beyonders realm. I think because his girlfriend was there or something, but it was like, oh, he's the
That's a pretty selfish reason to do a thing.
well, he was a bad guy.
Yeah.
He was sort of a tweener. He was a bad guy, but kind of conflicted about it.
And also, he was 11.
He was 11. Mentally, he was 11.
He was a tweener.
Yeah. But that's an interesting power to me, to be able to change the physical aspects of things. I can't change who you are with molecular manipulation, but I could put a fancy hat on you if I want. Just make a hat out of the air molecules on your head.
See, that sounds awesome to me.
See, you like that, don't you?
I like you know what you need right now, Hal? Top hat. I just like the ability to that's kind of like the frosting thing.
That's true. You could use that power to create frosting whenever or wherever you want.
So what's that power called? The power to put top hats and frosting on stuff?
I would call it molecular manipulation. How about that?
Okay, so we've got...
Oh, what about super speed? Like the Flash.
Oh, yeah.
Think about all the things he can do with super speed. He can run up buildings.
Uh-huh.
He can create little tornadoes with his arms. He can run so fast and vibrate at a frequency where he passes through solid objects. And if he goes fast enough, he can break through dimensional barriers. It's a pretty handy. It's one of those.
You know what? You had me until break through dimensional barriers. Like if I just really have to get somewhere fast and I'm like rushing, and I start rushing way too fast, and then I'm standing on like Thanos's weird half planet explosion from Neverending Story.
That's Marvel.
Layer.
You're not going to see it. Well, maybe you will. Maybe
Oh
you'll cross
my
over
God!
into a dimension where you
did you just give me some Marvel DC crap right there?
I did.
All right.
It's already been proven that you don't know who's who.
Yeah, no, I don't. So superpowers may have been a terrible episode for me to do. Let's start narrowing them down.
Okay.
We've thought about a lot, and thank you to our Facebook listeners and viewers who have been sending us these ideas and are the reason that we keep going. Ooh, also this.
Yes. Yeah. I think we can take out the mind reading. Anything we've already
Anything
sort of
that
eliminated
feels
that.
invasive, I don't want.
Invisibility we've eliminated, which I understand. I don't think I'd want to be, because that's also risky because nobody can see you. So if somebody's like, hey, watch me throw this knife. And you're standing there like, I'm totally going to sneak up. You could get a knife in your neck.
Well, you also, does the invisibility make you lose your sense of hearing? Because you could have easily heard the guy say, hey, I'm going to throw this knife.
You might be looking the other way.
All right. Doesn't matter. We're not going with that one.
Teleportation. I think I would eliminate that one.
You'd eliminate teleportation?
Yeah. I don't know. There's something.
Man.
I don't hate the travel experience that much.
The thing is, we're here to determine what is the best one.
Yeah. What is the one that you would really want over all others?
Teleportation, for me personally, because I'm late a lot of places, sounds great, but it's not what's our favorite. It is what is the best superpower.
Yeah. I gotta tell you, now I'm leaning more towards speed when I think about it, because I'd burn calories faster too. He has to eat a ton of food.
Teleportation is just the extreme version of super speed.
But it's only because you can get one from one place to the other. But that's pretty much all there is to it.
Yeah.
Like you want to go to the International Space Station, you're in there.
That's what super speed is. I want to get from one place to another fast.
Is it like Nightcrawler where he has to be able to see where he's going? So you can't be like Paris and then you show up in Paris.
Yeah.
That's what you're talking about. You're talking about like Star Trek style where they have coordinates and they just sort of send
I'm talking about like flu powder, like all that Harry Potter stuff.
It's best power, not best powder.
Boo.
Yay.
So what's still on the list then?
Flying is still there.
Uh-huh.
I don't think super strength has been eliminated.
No.
Invulnerability is gone.
Mm-hmm.
But we also super speed is still on there.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll keep teleportation on there. So we've got a
teleportation, super. So now we start eliminating.
Well, and communication.
Oh, communication.
We'll keep communication.
I love communication.
So
that's right.
Before we start to eliminate these powers, why don't we exercise the greatest power of all, which is sharing some of the other great podcasts that exist on the Maximum Fun Network.
Sounds great.
My name is Patrick.
My name is Parker.
Max FunCon has been a huge inspiration in my life.
Now I have this network of friends that I've made that span literally across the entire globe, and they're some of my favorite people in the world.
I truly cannot believe the amount of wonderful and lasting friendships that have come out of this.
If you feel like you might not fit in, as long as you're a good person, you'll fit in because everyone there is good and amazing and kind and wonderful, and you should absolutely go. It will be the best decision of your life.
Make a ton of new friends like Parker and Patrick at Max FunCon. Tickets for Max FunCon and Max FunCon East are on sale now at maxfuncon.com.
Folks, guess what? The Max Fun Drive is coming up, and we're working hard on some of the best episodes of the year just for you. Tune in during the drive to catch these extra awesome episodes and hear about the exclusive thank you gifts we have in store for new and upgrading members. They are seriously amazing. I have seen them. I can't even believe what they are this year. Plus, it's your chance to show support for We Got This and help the network reach its highest goal ever, 10,000 new and upgrading Max Fun members. That would be incredible, but I know that it's possible because I have seen what the Maximum Fun community can do when they join together as one. The 2017 Max Fun Drive kicks off on March 20th and runs for just 2 weeks. Visit MaximumFun.org for details. And don't miss it, y'all. It's going to be a barn burner. And we're back.
All right. So we have our finalists.
Yes.
And it's time to determine once and for all. We've got teleportation.
Yes.
Communication.
Yes.
Flight.
Yes.
Super strength and speed.
That is correct.
So now, like we have done on many episodes, we are going to eliminate from these 5.
Correct.
Would you like to start?
Sure. I do want to say it would be fun. I just saw somebody mention Fantastic Four in the comments of the live video, and I did not think about Mr. Fantastic, who's super stretchy.
Yeah, it doesn't earn him the name Mr. Fantastic.
Fine. No stretchiness. I'd say of those, I would eliminate teleportation, I think.
Okay.
I think
you already tried once.
I did try one. I just think that there are better. I think super speed gets you places quickly. You can go pretty fast, and get where you need to go without traveling to other dimensions. And there's so many other side benefits to it that it's like teleportation plus.
Okay.
So that's what I'm going to eliminate.
So you're eliminating teleportation.
Yes.
I'm going to eliminate super strength.
Okay.
Because I am. Because I feel like there are machines that can do, like anything that needs to be lifted can currently be lifted.
Have you seen where robotics is going right now?
Yeah, lifting stuff.
I watched a GIF of a robot that was like one of those weird four-legged, where all 4 legs look like the back leg of a horse, with a dog that was going crazy barking at it. And as it barked, the robot jumped around on the 2 legs to play with the dog. So that was real cute. Then I saw what looked like an army of spider-looking robots all come online and start moving together. And I realized maybe I don't want a machine to do everything that people can do. I already don't like the spiders that just walk the earth on their 8 legs. I really don't want robot spiders. They all look like things that you would try to kill in the Tron arcade game. You're completely lost in the Facebook comments.
I'm not going to lie. I totally just watched the Facebook thing. You started talking about Tron and I lost it.
You can look at half of it right now. I'm right in front of you. So super strength is out, even though, so we're left with communication, flight, and super speed. There's something fantastic about the idea of flying. However, it's another thing where there's so much technology for us to fly, whether it's giant machines like planes and helicopters, or even like wingsuits and hang gliders or parachutes, that you can get that sensation without having to have the power to fly or the responsibility of heavy navigation for sustained periods of time. For that reason, I think I would eliminate flying from the list, which leaves us, because I kind of wanted to eliminate communication. However, when I think about the practical use of that, I think that I would rather be able to talk to everybody and everything than be able to just sort of fly around. That just seems like a cooler power to have, and it could do more good. Plus, I want to know, sometimes I think that when an interpreter is like, he says, good job, that what the guy's really saying is like, you are a horse's rear end and I hate you. Like in a UN thing. I never know what those, for
the longest time, I thought those little ear thing.
Yeah.
I did not realize there was a middleman that was interpreting. I thought it was just like a digital, a thing that was interpreting languages. And I always thought, I want one of those little UN things. Then I'll be able to understand everybody. But because those things do not exist.
Yeah.
And super speed sounds great. But.
Oh man. Hold on. But did I mention the running up buildings and down?
Yeah, you did.
Running on water?
Probably. I was reading.
Do you want to run across the Atlantic Ocean, Mark?
How?
What?
It has fallen to me to eliminate the final one.
Hold on. Before you're like, I sure do want to go talk to that cow.
It's not about talking to cows. It's about being able to communicate with any human being on the planet. That's the most important part of this.
Do you want to talk to all of them? Do you want to talk to all of the people of the world?
You know what?
What?
Our decision's been made, I think, Hal. So why don't you talk to all the people of the world?
Fine. People of the world, we hear you. For once, we finally hear you. Not just hear you. We're not just listening to odd noises come out from another language that we don't understand. We're hearing and understanding you because we have the greatest superpower that anybody could have, which is the ability to communicate. You feel comfortable. You feel heard. And hey, sea otter, you little baby sea otters eating those pellets. I see you. You're real cute. I know what you're really talking about, and I think it's disgusting. You should keep that chatter to a minimum and be good citizens of the planet, you baby sea otters. Finally understand how wicked you are. And that is definitely racist, Percy. That's the name of one of the sea otters. Didn't know they had names, did you? We do, because we have the superpower that is the greatest superpower anybody can have. The superpower of universal communication. Asked and answered. Thank you, Kelly, for the suggestion.
Yes, thank you, Kelly. And thank you, Facebook Live, for letting us do this with you guys tonight.
Yes.
This has been an absolute treat. And this topic is covered and finished and in the books, but we have many more topics to discuss. So please reach out to us on Twitter at WeGotThisTweets or check out the Maximum Fun subreddit. A flame war could be happening right now.
That's right. You can send us an email at WeGotThisPodcast@gmail.com, or you could join our Facebook group where we have broadcasted this entire episode live. How do you do that? I'm going to tell you. Go to Facebook.com/groups/WeGotThisPodcast. Make your suggestion there. Thank you to producer Ken Plume, researcher Kate McManus, both of whom joined us for this broadcast, graphic designer Uri Kelman, and QA engineer Jen Alba.
And thanks, as always, to our musicians, Jonathan Dinerstein and Mike Furman, for our score and theme song, respectively. And thank you, of course, to you, our listeners, for giving us an opportunity to sit here and dream about the superpowers we wish we had. We would not do it without you. We appreciate you coming and listening to our show. Thank you very much. For Hal Lublin, I'm Mark Gagliardi.
And for Mark Gagliardi, I'm Hal Lublin. And don't worry, everybody. We got this.
We got this.
MaximumFun.org.
Comedy and culture.
Artist owned.
Listener supported.